Purpose of this video is to discuss scripting in the AutoCAD environment. Scripting is a collection of commands that you type into the command line at the bottom of your AutoCAD. And all it is really it's a text file. Anything that you would have typed in the order that you would have typed it. The enters, changing of lines within it is the actual enter you would have typed inside of AutoCAD. So going through this one here, by the way, inside of our Genesis CAD folder, there's a subfolder called scripts that contain this file plus others. But inside this example here, the first line is tile mode. Tile mode is a variable that basically means paper space versus model space in AutoCAD. So if you type 0, that would mean that you're looking at paper space. If you typed 1, that automatically take you to model space. But just each one, tile mode, enter, 0, enter, those would have been commands you would have typed inside the command line down here. The next part is dash layer. Dash layer is a command line only command. This means, typically when you type layer, the tool palette will come up and let you choose your layers, create all that. This is just purely typing in commands. So dash layer, enter, freeze, that's freezing the layer, enter, and then the layer itself is going to, so it's asterisk G dash title dash NFC. This means that it'll freeze any layer, that can have stuff before it as long as it ends with G title NFC. G title NFC is the layer inside our title blocks that contain the not for construction stamp on it. So in this case, right now, all that means is it's going to set it to paper space. It's going to freeze the G title NFC. You want to have the asterisk before it because technically the G title NFC is inside a XREF. So in your sheet environment, you'd have all this text before it indicating the name of the title block, the XREF itself, the line, and then the actual name of the layer inside that file. So we need that in order to do this. We'll hit enter. Enter, that gets us out of the layer command. We go Q save, that saves the file, and then we enter, and that's the command. It's basically it's a very simple text file, very simple script. It's just saves with an SCR extension. So scripts on this isn't something that's very complex. The script itself, in the Windows environment, if you were actually just drag this file directly into, say, this AutoCAD drawing here, this will automatically run. It'll take a second, but this one will actually run and freeze that layer and save, and we're done. I know you're going to say that this is just a small task that anybody can do. It doesn't require even writing that script. On its own, in an individual document, it's correct. But, the NFC, not for construction stamp is always supposed to be removed on every drawing when it goes out for those drawings go out for permits. So this is where the scripts actually can be beneficial to us. Inside, on the Common tab, inside of AutoCAD, there's a button there called Scripter. Let's close out of this. Save that. What this tool allows us to do is take that script and apply it to multiple files. So the first part here is browse. I'm going to browse to that script file. Actually, I will just paste that in. so that's the script that we're going to run, and then I'm going to actually add the files that I want to have this modification go to. So here's the files that we're looking at. Just pick the first two, open. So these are the files it's going to work. It's going to run on. If you hit add, you just pick individual sheets. If you hit add from folder, it'll pick all the files that are inside that folder. What this does is we're set up now to actually go through and run that script on each of these files. The reason why the script originally had the QSave at the bottom is so that when this is done, it'll save the file. QSave, the script itself doesn't actually run any commands in the AutoCAD environment, so the script has to actually run that. So you see options in here to run it. You'll see checked, which means these guys are checked here. Selected, so if it's highlighted, that's what it's going to run, or failed. These files, if they're run for the first time, if someone's in them, it's going to fail, just like anything else in the Windows Explorer environment. You can't go modifying a file if someone else is already in there. Usually it opens as a read-only. So same thing happens here. So if you clear something out, then it'll run through only the ones that say failed here if you use the failed button. In this case, I am just going to run the checked. When I run this, problem. Try this again. When I run this, I'll just click checked. And what this will do is this will open a new instance of AutoCAD. Inside the so you're seeing that running in the background. So what it's doing is it's opening AutoCAD and it's going to open the file itself. And then run the script. So you'll see here in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the not for construction stamp disappear, and it automatically closes out of it and it's moving on to the next file. Here's the next sheet. You'll see down here another stamp there. Just wait a second, and you will see it disappear. Saves it, gets out, and we just fixed both those sheets. That is where scripting is actually beneficial. It usually comes up asking you if you want to view the log. For this case, I'll just show what happened. It just shows me any errors that came up on this, which we didn't have any. But that is scripting in general. The more tasks you have in a script, the more time saving it is. Be sure to take a look in our Genesis CAD folder, take a look at some of the scripts we have in here. If you need to attach images, this will go through each of the files and find any images that are inserted in there and detach them, because you'd see them in the XREF dialog box, and they'll just be removed. This one here, if you look at this one will turn all the revision layer off in every file, similar to before. So tile mode set to 0, so it's in paper space again. Layer set to 0 because the revision layer is the current layer, then this would not be able to run. It would not be able to turn it off because it's the current layer. But so we'll turn it off, and then it'll actually freeze that in there.